everybody. Welcome to podcast 10 of the Brownie Knits podcast. I hope everybody is doing well and that you've had lots of knitting and crocheting time in between our last podcast and today. So I wanted to first thank everybody who had such kind things to say after the last podcast when I talked about my dog Riley. I was completely focused on block 2 in that podcast and anticipated questions from that, and I should have anticipated the kindness of everyone. So thank you to everybody who sent in a message or commented. It really meant a lot. So we've also had a lot of new subscribers and members in the Ravelry group, and I'm so excited to see that and meet all of you. And everybody's been interacting with users who've been in the group a little while, and it's always fun to talk to friends that I've had, I guess you could call them old friends now, that have been in the group for a while. So it's really a lot of fun to get to know everyone and find out our common interests and just kind of share in this craft that we love so much. So today I'm really focused on showing you some finished projects and some, I had a massive cast on day. I was just tired of everything I was working on, but I'd finished up a lot recently, and I just decided that I was gonna cast on whatever I felt like. So, my basket is overflowing, and I'm usually only have like a couple projects, fun projects going at one time and a couple of design projects going at one time. So for me to have this many at once is a little overwhelming because I just want to get that basket a little bit empty. So I did make, I guess I'll start with finished projects. I did make this Augusta shawl since the last time we met. We actually, Patrick and I, sometimes in the winter especially, but I guess it's probably every 3 months or so, we'll treat ourselves, and I'll go to the yarn shop, and then he gets to go to Vine and Table, which is a liquor store and cheese shop here in town. So we did that a couple of Saturdays ago, and I'd been wanting to crochet this shawl for a long time, and it's a free pattern. It's called the Augusta Shawl, and it's on Ravelry for download. And it uses Serena. Let's see, here we go. And so there's Serena. And Serena is 60% baby alpaca, 40% Pima cotton. And it's a fingering weight. And I really most times I don't fret too much about using a different yarn than what the pattern calls for, although I do definitely do a swatch and try to match the fiber content when I do that. But for this one, I really, really wanted the Serena, and I'd been looking for a long time, and yeah, I could get it online, but I couldn't see the colors to see how I wanted it to kind of move out from lightest to deepest. So finally, one of my local shops, had some in stock. So I had this one in mind and another project in mind, and I was thinking that I needed 4 colors for this one when I really needed 5, and I was thinking that I needed 4 colors for the other one when I really needed 3, so I was really off my game. But anyway, it worked out with what I ended up purchasing because I just think I didn't want it as deep as in the pattern. It kind of goes down close to your belly button in the pattern. And I always wear mine in the front like this, so I didn't really want a huge wingspan on mine. So I picked up, the lightest color, and then the medium blue here, like the lighter blue, and then the darker blue are all Serena. And then they didn't have any other ones that kind of went into like a deeper blue but had some variegation in it. So I actually got this one of Malabrigo. So it's the Malabrigo Finito in the color 856 Azulis. Oh, I don't know. What are the other colors? Let's see. So this one's natural, Serena Natural. And then one is Tide and one is Harbor. I'm not sure which one's the darker one. But anyway, I just thought it turned out really well. So I just followed the pattern through using 4 colors instead of 5. And I did a little single crochet edge on the very edge at the bottom. When I changed my colors, in the pattern she said to just go until you don't have any yarn left and then pick up the new color. When I did that, I made sure that well, first of all, I was at the end of a row, but I started my new color on the right side so that it looked kind of uniform and there was a right side, wrong side. And I think it turned out really pretty. You can't really, well, there you can see the variegation a little bit. There's not a huge amount in the last color, is the only one that has any variegation in it. And I just thought it was really sweet and could be worn kind of most of the year, especially in winter and spring and summer. So just kind of the blues that travel through the year. I wish the blues were traveling through the year right now with us. It's been so gray. And that makes it kind of difficult to be up and chipper. But anyway, so this Augusta Shawl, I got the yarn on a Saturday, and I think I had the shawl finished by midweek or something. It just flew. I used a size D crochet hook, and I think I'll probably make another one. And now that I know what it feels like to do it with the Serena, I could see myself maybe using some fingering weight sock yarns that I have in my stash if I could get them to gradiate the way I would like. So anyway, this was a fun one to do. Another one that I did, and I did this as part of the Little and Long with Danny on Little Bobbins and then the Little Yellow Uke. They're having a Little and Long in February. And I took the Miss Gelato Giraffe pattern that is from Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. And I grabbed some sock yarn and smaller needles. So I made him little or her little. Clearly she's a her. So I actually took leftover Turtlepurl yarn that I had and made this for my little dog Kiki. We call them her babies. She likes to carry them around in her mouth for like a security blanket kind of thing. And she's really good about not really ripping them apart. Sometimes she gets a little bit rough in play, but not usually with knitted items. And she's really funny because when I'm knitting, she leaves my knitting completely alone. She does not bother it. So then after I'm done making something for her, I have to make sure that I put it in the toy box and get her scent on it and things like that so that she knows it's okay to play with it even though I knitted it. So I just thought it turned out really cute. I didn't make clothes for this one because I thought the body was so cute. I didn't want to cover it up. The body, the yarn, that's the yarn color sequence in the yarn from the hips area up to the head. That's just how it worked out. And then I went in to my scraps and cut out the section so that she was light pink and then into dark pink for her limbs and her little tail. She has a little tail. And then I wanted her horns to be the dark pink and her ears the brown. And then instead of using buttons, I made her little like eyelids and eyelashes. So she turned out really cute, and I had to grab her this morning from the doggy toy box to show her on the podcast. So she'll be going back to Kennedy now. But that would be, especially if you did it like that without the buttons, it would be a cute little baby gift. Like maybe, if you have another gift for the person and it would be cute, like as wrapping, as the bow on the outside of the package or something. I was really happy with her. So those were 2 projects that I finished. And then a third project that I finished, I showed last time the yarn that Christina of A Knitter's Life had gifted to me. She hand spun some yarn, and it was about 200 yards on the label, 200 yards of a DK/fingering weight, because it's a thick and thin. And I wanted to do something special with it, and I've been wearing my hair up in a high ponytail a lot, and when you put on a hat with that, you can't really, it doesn't really work out. So I found this pattern on Ravelry. It's called Spirograph. And let me see who the designer is. The designer is Anna Elliott. And I used a size 3 and 4 needle for this. Now, I don't want to pull it all the way down, but you can kind of see it spirals around with these eyelet openings and then the raised knit area. There you go. Here you can see it. And it has this, so this is your bottom rib, which is a little deeper, and then your top rib is not as deep. And then it has an opening at the top so you can just have your ponytail sitting up there on the top of your head, peeking out. And I thought it turned out really, really well. I used the rest of it, didn't use the whole 200, so I used the rest of it to crochet a little flower pot cover that I have sitting downstairs. But it turned out really well. And again, that's Spirograph. It is a pay-for pattern by Anna Elliott. And I, excuse me, I used it US 3 and 4. I sound husky. I don't know, I've got a frog in my throat. And the other thing I wanted to mention about this one, I used the Jenny Surprisingly Stretchy bind off for this one. So this is the bound off. So you can see how much stretch there is there. And I hadn't done that. I think I had probably done the cast off, that particular cast off once or twice. But I hadn't done it in years. And I went on to iTunes last month, I guess it was, and they have the cast on bind off book electronically on iBooks for, I think I got it for $2.99. And in the Jenny Surprisingly Stretchy bind off is in there, as well as a lot of other things. So I thought that was a great deal. So if you're looking for some different cast ons and bind offs, you might, and you're a tablet user, you might pop up to the iTunes store and search for that. What else? I think those are my only finished items, although I have, well, it depends on which podcaster you ask, if I have a fourth finished item or not. Because I have one sock done. And this is, the yarn is from Dancing Dog Dyeworks. It's her twist sock in the Gingerbread Houses colorway. And I love it. It's kind of showing up dulled there a little bit. Those aren't not the right colors. It's a really brilliant turquoisey color in the solids. And then all of the different colors through the stripes are really bold and bright. So, in this one, I did a fish lips kiss heel, and I love it. I don't know that I'll ever do another heel again. I will, I'm sure I will, but it was just so nice. You know, it really is worth the time. And I know, like, I was put off at first when I bought the pattern for $1. That's great. I was put off by so much text being there, and you needed to like draw your foot out and all this stuff. And I've heard other people on other podcasts say that they haven't tried it out yet because of that too, because they just didn't have the time to sit. You don't really have to do all that. If you're doing a cuff down, which is what I did, in the pattern, she explains to you how to do a drawing of your foot and write all these lines on it. And she then says, if you're doing a cuff down, for the placement of your heel, you would do this portion until it fit on the cutout up to the hinge line, which is, I'll show you in here, which is like this, where your heel would hit on your foot. So you want it to be, from here to here. So if you think about that, all she's really wanting you to do, you're getting an equivalent size of your foot to the part that goes in your leg. So if you are making them for yourself and you don't have time to draw out your foot and everything, just lay your cuff portion next to your foot, and when you are to that hinge line where your heel starts on the bottom of your foot, then you're ready to do your heel. And it's so easy. Once you learn it, it's cake. And then this part for me always flies. I have such little feet that they go pretty fast, so I'm happy when I get to make socks for myself. So I do have one of those done, and I started the second one yesterday, and I am just now starting the heel. And I'm using my Carbons. Those are Wet Knitters Pride. And I got these for Christmas. Santa brought those for me. I wanted them in a size 1, a US 1, so that I could do magic loop socks. And I hadn't tried them out before, the Carbons. I really like them. But I am a big signature needle user, and I know a lot of people don't like those because of the points, but I really like the strong tips. So they don't bother me. I do have a callus right there, but I just kind of consider it part of my work. So these are not as strong on the tip as the signature stilettos, but they're pretty pointed. But I really like them. So, and I have my socks, my Dancing Dog Dyeworks socks for February. I wasn't initially planning to try and make a pair of socks a month, but that's kind of how it's working out to be. So I guess that's what I'm doing now. But I got this little bag off of Erin's Etsy shop, and she's Holland handmade, and it's so adorable. I just thought that the little flowers were so sweet, and the inside fabric is really cute. And when I'm knitting, I like to have it turned down like this, and then when I'm storing it, I flip it up, pull the drawstring, and it keeps everything snugged away. So I actually have a chance for you guys to get one too. So the Final Four giveaway, so in March, the second podcast in March, I'll draw for the Final Four giveaway, and that's a thread up on the Brownie Knits Ravelry board. You know, I can't remember if I said my name and everything. I'm Gina. I'm Brownie Knits, all one word, in Ravelry and Instagram. And our group in Ravelry is Brownie Knits, 2 words. So there's a thread in the forum called Final Four. And if you answer the questions in the thread, then that registers you for the giveaway that'll be at the end of March, the second podcast in March. And one of the items, so there will be multiple, is this cute, adorable bag from Erin. I just thought it was so cute, and I liked that it had the green on there for March, and I'm planning to fill this with mini skeins. So it'll be full of mini skeins and some stitch markers, and one of the mini skeins will be some of the yarn from the Dancing Dog Dyeworks socks that I'm making. So I just thought that would be kind of fun for everybody who's maybe knitting or crocheting scrappy blankets and using mini skeins to do that. So, and if you haven't checked out Erin's shop, it's a fairly new Etsy store. Her prices are really, really great. So you can go and give that a look. She also has a podcast. So, all right, let's move on now to in progress things. And oops, I can't show you that. You can't see in there. That's the design for the block blanket. I don't want to show you that. All right. Let's look in here. Oh, I also wanted to say, I mentioned before on a previous episode that I joined the Swap for All Seasons 2015 group, and we got our partners assigned. So I wanted to say hello to my swap partner in Finland. Her name is, actually I'm not sure if it's Hannah or Hannah. I'm thinking it might be Hannah. So Hannah, if you're watching, hello. And I probably won't show what I'm making Hannah for her swap this time anyway. But if I do in the future, Hannah, I'll tell you to look away. So, this is remember how I said when I went shopping, I thought I needed 4 colors for the other project and I really only needed 3. Well, it's even worse because the name of the project is the 3-color cowl. I don't know why I was thinking I needed 4. So the pattern, I'm sure you guys recognize it, is the 3-color cowl by Joji Locatelli. And it's so much fun to make. I believe her original yarn that she called for in the pattern is a cashmere. So the idea being you could get some luxurious, skein of some luxurious yarn in 3 different colors and treat yourself. And every section is a little different. You've got a little rib down here and then some eyelet, but you get to change colors. And then the eyelets section, and then it's striped through here. And I'm getting ready to go into another section that has some other texture, and it'll be in this purple color. And I do apologize today. I have every light on in here that I can get, but it's really rainy, overcast again. I feel like every time I podcast it's raining. Anyway, so, and then you just wear it around your neck and it slouches down. So I thought that would be a fun project to do. And the yarn that I'm using is from the Fibre company. It's Fibre company Canopy fingering. It is 50% baby alpaca, 30% merino, and 20% viscose bamboo. There's 200 yards on each ball. And I'm using, I don't know actually, what size needle. I'm really bad about that. I'd say they're 3s. Yeah. And I'm kind of silly. I don't know if you can see that stitch marker. I coordinate my stitch markers. They're either coordinated with the project that I'm working on, or they have something to do with the season that it is. So for instance, on a project I'm making for Hannah, it doesn't coordinate with the yarn, but instead I have these little puffins since it's winter. So anyway, that 3-color cowl is in one of my bags from that my husband got me from the Felted Flower shop. And I just love these bags. This one I really, really like because it's a little bit bigger. So that's really nice and roomy. This is really bad. I have so many projects started that I don't even know what's in them until I open them. The next one is going to be my Rockefeller shawl. So when I looked at things that I wanted to make in 2015, I mostly wanted to make, and I did it by what projects were appealing to me in Ravelry and such. And a lot of them were shawls. So until this year, I really wasn't somebody who used my Ravelry queue very much, but I went through and cleared out everything and then put them all in there. And it's mostly shawls and headbands. And the Rockefeller by Stephen West, I saw that pattern knitted up at a festival that I went to last fall. And it was just beautiful. And I really wanted to make it. So I got yarn in these 2 colors. So it's like a brilliant blue and then a turquoisey blue. And I'm hoping that it looks great in those 2 colors. So this is blue topaz. And the other one is BAIA. However you want to pronounce that. And the yarn is La Jolla, wow, Ba. Maybe I should just hold the tag up instead of trying to say things. Okay, ignore the cost there. So, it's 100% superwash merino, 400 yards, and it's fingering weight. And I've just, like, there's barely even anything on here. So that will get some more love after some of these other projects are done. I want to finish up my socks, and then probably the 3-color cowl, and then I'll get back onto knitting that one. And that's this is a bird legs bag. And then this is also a bird legs bag. This one has, I've wanted to make this for ages. You can't really, I mean, the lace section I have started it, but you can't see it all that much. So I've finished the stockinette section, and then I've started the lace, and it is going to be an Ishbel. And Ishbel, I'm sure most of you are familiar with it, is a pattern by Ysolda Teague. And I've had it on my list of things to make forever. And went into my Stash yarn. This was from Stash. The Dancing Dog Dyeworks was also from Stash, as was the Miss Gelato Giraffe. And this is Desert Vista Dyeworks. In her, the colorway is Chili Pepper, and it's 490 yards. When I ordered this, I ordered it online, and from the Loop U, I think, and I wasn't thinking about it. I thought it was variegated or striped, and it's not. It's a gradient that goes from this pinky color out into this darker color and then into red. So what I'm hoping to do with the Ishbel is to just keep, I don't know if it'll work out. So if you've made one and you know that it'll work out or not, I'm hoping to just keep going until I get all those colors in there. So with the lace repeat. So hopefully that'll work out. So that is one from Stash. And then I don't think you can even count this one as being started. So I guess you would call it new yarn acquisition. But it has a plan. It's already spoken for. Okay. Trying to do this quietly. It's a plastic bag. I thought I had everything pulled out. There we go. So one of the other things that I wanted to make, and what podcast did I see this on? Two Tangled Skeins. In one of the podcast episodes that I was watching, it was when two of them were at Rhinebeck. So she was podcasting alone, and she was wearing a Catkin shawl, and it was gorgeous, and it looked so cute how she was wearing it. So I picked up 2 skeins of the Bah to make a Catkin out of these really soft colors. The green one here is sage, and the purple one is lavender. And then I grabbed this little button, see if you can see it, with this sweet little daisy on it. And those buttons will go along. You can wear the Catkin either with the buttons in the front, or you can wear it off to the side, which is how she had it worn in the podcast, and the buttons were down along her arm. And you don't have to have them all buttoned then. You can just kind of leave some of them unbuttoned and have a little more room to move around. So I just thought that was super cute. And so Amelia, I have my yarn to start my shawl. So I'm excited about that. And then I'm not even going to show the other one until next time. And I'll talk about that at that point. So anyway, that's what I've been working on. What have you been working on? If you want to share, you can pop up to the Ravelry group, the Brownie Knits Ravelry group, and show us what you've been working on. I love to see what everybody's doing because it inspires me, and oftentimes I'll have to cast that on too. So, and then, like I said, I am making something for Hannah, and What else do I have going on? I'm looking at my notes. I talked about the giveaway. Oh, how could I forget this? Wow. So my family on my dad's side, they all live in Pennsylvania, and we go out at least once a year. And this year, I thought, I wonder how long of a drive it is from their homes up to Rhinebeck. And I discovered it's less than 5 hours. So I'm going to go to Rhinebeck this year, and I'm so excited. So if any of you are going to be there, let me know. I would love to meet up for like a little group lunch or something, or just, have a little drink or whatever. So I'm so excited. And my husband, bless him, because I wasn't really thinking about, how big it is and stuff. And when we started looking around for places to stay, I thought it was too early to register or to book a hotel, but it's not. Of course not. People have started, probably when it was going on last year. So we did end up finding a really nice B&B to stay at that's a little bit away from the fairgrounds. But yeah, so if you're going to go, you might start looking to book your hotels now. But anyway, I'm so super excited to go to Rhinebeck. And, I'm only going to be there a couple days, but I keep thinking, I'll make that and wear it to Rhinebeck. I'm like, you just need like a couple. Choose. How do you choose what to wear of all of your knits and crochets? So anyway, that'll be a lot of fun and be exciting to do. So if any of you are going, or if you've been in the past and have any tips for me, let me know. I do have a thread in the group called Rhinebeck. So if you have anything that you'd like to chatter about, please feel free to do that. And then I've been looking over everybody's block 2s, and they all look great. I love seeing all the flowers coming into life, and it gives me hope for spring. And everybody's are gorgeous. They all look great. And I'm sorry, I cannot remember which user it was, but one of you did it in green, and I thought that was just gorgeous. They're all gorgeous, but the green one was just amazing. And then I'm all set up for our blocks for the foreseeable future for the months, and still continuing to get that project wrapped up so that I can move on to other new designs. And I've said it before, but I just wanted to thank you all again for supporting the Knit Along. We have about 55 people that have actively shown photos or loaded up a pattern or loaded up a project or shown something on Instagram. But there are a lot of you that are knitting in the shadows, which is perfectly fine because we have over 600 unique downloads. So there are a lot of blankets being born out there, and that makes me so happy. So thank you again for all of your support from everybody. And I also wanted to give a special thank you to the Yarn Yenta 247 and Disa of Disa's Craftwork podcast. They both mentioned this podcast on theirs recently, and I wanted to say thank you for doing that. So I think that's everything that I have. As soon as I stop recording, I'm sure that I will remember something else. But this podcast was just really about projects. So the next podcast will be releasing block 3. So that's our March block. And I did have one. See, I told you, I always have one other thing that I forgot. So I've been looking at everybody's scrap blankets. A lot of people are doing scrappy crochet blankets, but I know a lot of people are doing memory blankets, which are knitted. And I wanted to see if we would have some interest in doing a mini skein swap within our group. The way I would run this swap, I'd put up a thread, and then you would need to, in the thread, let me know that you wanted to participate by a certain date, and then I would assign you a swap partner. So it's not going to be a mini skein swap where you would send me the content and I would then mail it out to everybody. Instead, I'd pair you with a partner and you would swap yarn with each other. So I think what I would like to do is say do 10 10-gram balls, so, or mini skeins, so 10 grams each of 10 different things. And they can be from your stash or purchase new, however you want to do it, as long as it's coming from, if it's from your stash, it needs to come from a non-smoking home where the animals have not been exposed to the yarn, because a lot of us do have allergies. So, but I thought that might be kind of fun to, maybe meet another member in the group and then get some extra mini skeins for your scrappy, what do they call? I can't even remember what Kay's calling hers. I think everybody started calling them that after that. Scrappy granny blanket, or your memories blanket, or any of the other zillion mini skein projects that are out there. So I will go ahead and open that thread up by the time this podcast comes out so that you guys can start signing up. And I'd say we need at least 6 people, including myself, participating for us to move forward with it. So that way we'd have, enough people to swap back and forth. All right, let me know what you think about that and whatever else you have going on. I really look forward to talking to everybody each week, and just really love the community that is out there and supporting each other. So until the next time I see you, happy knitting and crocheting. Bye-bye.